So before I opened my own tailor shop, I got into the profession by doing my own alterations. But hands down, one of the hardest alteration jobs to do was dress pant hems. Now the big difference between a casual jean hem or a dress pant hem, casual hem is gonna have a top stitch all the way around the pant, where a dress pant has a blind hem. So it's an invisible hem to keep a nice clean, sleek look to your pants. But unless you have about like an hour to hand stitch both hems or the capital and space to buy your own dedicated blind hem machine, you're gonna have to deal with puddling on your pants. But if you're determined to do this on your own, I'm going to show you how to do it with a simple home sewing machine with only a straight stitch. So for this hem, we're going to be cuffing the pants. That's when there's that little turn up of fabric at the end. For me, this is perfect because I love cuffed pants. It adds a little bit of extra weight to the trouser so it lays clean, and it also adds a little bit of flair. Now, if you don't fancy a cuff, you can check out my other video on how to use a home sewing machine's blind hemming feature, but if you want to use a straight stitch, you gotta put a cuff in your pants. Now for the mark, I already know my pant outseam is gonna be 39 3/4 inch, so I'm just gonna take this and measure and then mark it like I would a normal pair of pant hem. And then when you have that line, what we're going to mark next is how much of a cuff we want. We're gonna measure down from this line the amount that our cuff will be. I like 1 5/8 to 2 inches, but you can really do anything from 1 1/4 to about 2 3/8. So just measure down how big your cuff is gonna be. And then from this mark, we're going to measure down again about 3 inches. This is gonna turn and hide the hem itself. This will act as our cut line. Now, if you have a pair of pinking shears, go to town and cut that fabric right off. But if you're going to be using some straight shears, you're gonna wanna add about another 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch so you have room to press it over so it doesn't fray in the long run. So if you had the pinking shears, you can skip this step. If you're working with straight shears, you're going to want to now take this to your iron and press over that 1/2 inch turn. So here we have our pants turned inside out. And we're going to do our first stitch by telescoping the pant leg upward to our first mark. This is the one that was in the middle. So if you turn it inside more, you'll see where that finished mark is. We're going to take it up here and we're going to put a top stitch right along that edge we just pressed all the way around the pant. Add pins to the bottom if that's going to help you stay on your mark. We've got our machine set to a straight stitch. We're going to start in on one of the side seams. We're going to turn these pants right side out again. We're just going to press this down flat just to make sure we didn't run into any puckering issues and everything is laying the way that it should. So now this next part, we're going to form our cuff. You're going to then roll up the amount of cuff that you had marked at the bottom previously. So in my case, we're gonna go 2 inches in total. Now feel free to add pins here if you like, because we're gonna want to make sure that these seams line up perfectly. And then I press this cuff into place. I like to start with the seams and work my way to the edges. And now for our very last step, we are going to put a stitch right in this seam connecting the cuff to the bottom layer. This is also called stitching in the ditch. Make sure that your thread is matching perfectly here because you want to be very precise that none of this is going to be seen. Now for this, I was using a gray thread on a navy pant, but you can still see how invisible you can get that when the thread's not even matching. And the inside should look something like this. And then finally, you're gonna wanna give everything a final press. And there you have it, a dress pant hem with just a straight stitch. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I look forward to working again with you very soon.